that structure because God can't get in there, because it's not happening anymore. I find what's going on in the Gentile church is a lot of darkness. There's a lot of legalism. There's a lot of people like trying to spy out your liberty. There's a lot of like inner healing and looking for your husband, and I don't even know what they're doing. I mean, if you're not understanding what's happening with the times and that the age of the Gentiles is over, then you're not in true fellowship with the Lord. You can't really know his heart. In Luke 21:24, it's very clear. It says, Jerusalem will be trodden down by the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles is fulfilled. Jerusalem was trodden down by the Gentiles for almost 2,000 years, until 1967, when there was a 6-day war, which was a miracle war. At that time, Israel didn't even intend to take Jerusalem back. It's just that the way it worked out, when all the Arab nations came against them, and then God chose little Israel in 6 days, won the war. He also won back Jerusalem. At that time, God said, the time of the Gentiles is finished. And it was prophesied even in Daniel. And you can look up all the time and date, and it goes to 1967. What happened? Well, there was the Jews for Jesus broke out. There was a Jesus movement, Messianic Judaism. Messianic Judaism started. Messianic congregations. The cap on the Gentile age was over. Now it's understanding that we are in this generation when Jesus is coming back. He's coming back to the Mount of Olives. And he's coming back as the reigning king. And he's not going to do that before. He's also extending that third arm from Egypt comes. The sons of Ishmael are called forth because God blessed them. He never said he wouldn't bless them. He blessed them with very strong nations. And there are many, many true believers that will be called forth. And he's restoring the bones of Israel, the dry bones. He's gathered them back. Their blindness is coming off. They're coming to know him. He's creating one new man between the Gentile and the Jew. And he is also not going to let anyone be lost because he's the good shepherd. So anyone who is going to believe in him in any of the other countries, Asia, Africa, all South America, all, God knows all these things, but he's calling them forth because when that time has been completed and not one of his sheep are lost, he will make sure that this happens. And I have to look this up about when the beast comes is the full number. Because there's two things that happen. There's the fullness of the Gentiles, which has happened. It's happened. It's over. Done with. There's no, that structure. Oh, is what I was going to say, is it will be judged as well. Just as God used that time of the Gentiles to judge the Jews, he's going to use a judgment over the pagan sun god worshiping church. And there's many prophetic words about that. These are not just my words. You can look up a lot of prophecies. There was a priest in the 12th century prophesied some pretty horrific things about when God judges the pagan sun god worshiping Gentile church. Okay? Does that mean you don't celebrate Christmas anymore? Well, I love Christmas, but I have to ask God myself. And I have to do that myself. I have to make those decisions myself, which you have to make yourself. So one thing I want to say is that when I began to understand Israel, and I began to understand the feasts of Israel and celebrate the feasts, God blessed me so much. He poured out his blessings to me. And did I do them in a legalistic way? No. I did them my way as I felt led by God. Did God honor them? Yes. Do I have room for change? Yes. I'm growing every single day.